Happy New Year! Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to our first international destination. We are leaving the country, and I hope you are ready. In the previous videos, we were able to go over a few of my favorite US destinations that I think would be suitable for you as a first-time solo traveler. And now we're going to go to Cancun, Mexico. It is easy travel, and I really think you are going to enjoy this one. Cancun is an easy destination for travelers in the US. You are going to need a passport. Make sure that you check the validity as far as the expiration date. For Mexico, I'm not sure if it's 6 months. I saw in the news where they were talking about processing times for US passports. Some people have been trying to apply for them either for the first time or just renewing. Some have done it quickly, others it's taken some time. You can speed up the process by going to your senator. Usually you can get it within a day. You need to have your date close, like maybe 1-2 weeks out, and then you make your appointment. They will have you complete all the information, pay the fees, and then you can get your passport by the end of the day. I think I'm just going to cover Cancun area with a little bit of Riviera Maya. You know, it's located on the Yucatan Peninsula. Every time I go, I'm just moving around because the area is just so vast, and there's a lot of different things that you could do and plan to see. Cancun, the hotel zone, PDC, Playa, Tulum. You are going to need to have a passport. With Cancun Airport, it is an international airport, of course. It's pretty large. Traveling throughout the country of Mexico, I'm going to recommend a carry-on bag. That way you aren't going to have to worry about lugging luggage all around the place, and it's easier for you to get from city to city. Like if you want to go to Tulum, on this channel, we are carry-on only, and even more so personal item. I can do Mexico with a backpack. You're in paradise. All I need is swimsuits and cover-ups. Someone told me a good tip is when you are packing, put everything in, have your checklist, of course, and then look at it. Take out half those clothes, half those shoes, all those accessories, take out half and bring double the money. A lot of you think that you need all of this stuff. In reality, you do not. I think minimalist packing is a good vibe. And whatever you need, you can buy in Mexico. Like Cancun has everything. Just go to Walmart. You're going to be good to go. Now, from home, I would bring things that I'm not sure I'll be able to get, like hair products, certain medications, outfits that just fit you so good and well. You bring those, okay? But everything else, I can easily find in Mexico. On the plane, they give you a customs form that you are going to need to fill out. I don't know if this is accurate anymore. I need to check. Always have a pen with you. I have seen a number of times where passengers are like, do you have a pen? Can I use your pen? Can I borrow your pen? And I never get it back because it just goes all the way back and up. A lot of people are filling out those forms, and this is common for a few countries around the world. Carry a pen. If you have your carry-on, everything is going to be with you, which is a bonus anyways. Make sure you just put a pin in there. When you land, you need to go through customs. There's an easy way to do this. Cancun has an automated border control. When you see everybody in the lines waiting for customs to check them, you need to walk past that, go all the way down, and then you will see the scanners. I did that last year, and I was able to just walk up. You put your passport, it scans your picture, your information, and then boom, it opens. You go right to the officer, have your little conversation, and you're on your way. I'm talking about 5 minutes. There was no long line. When I went, I think now more people are finding out about the automated border control, and it is a really, really seamless way of them to control the passenger traffic through the airport. So good job, Cancun. You are going to need to use the currency, which is Mexican pesos. When you get to Cancun Airport, they accept US dollars as well. After you've done that, you're going to make your way outside, and this is where you're going to start seeing those haggling taxi drivers, tour guides. They're just going to bombard you, and it can be a little overwhelming. What I would say is look at them with a smile and just keep it moving. They're going to ask, do you need taxi, lady, do you need a taxi? Want to go to a tour? You want to go to Excursions? It's just a lot happening. Be focused. You already have your bags. You can say, I have my own transportation, thank you. Or you can just say audio bus, I don't need to use a taxi. Bypass the people, and hopefully if you have already prearranged your transportation, they will be waiting for you holding your name with a sign. You can also always call them or message them through WhatsApp. Speaking of which, I have T-Mobile as my phone carrier. You're going to get free international service depending on your plan. And of course, T-Mobile offers free data and Wi-Fi if you are traveling to or from US, Canada, and Mexico. There are other ways for you to get service if you don't have T-Mobile, and that's to get an eSIM card. You can handle that at the airport. If I were you, I would just wait until I get into the city center. Rearrange your transportation to get to the resort or wherever it is you're trying to go. Me, I like to book my audio bus ticket to the city center because I really just want to eat first and then figure out what I'm doing for the rest of the time. Sometimes I'll land in Mexico with no accommodation reservations. There's so many options that all you really need to do is get there. Just have your passport, your bag. On your phone, you want to make sure that you download a few apps to make your trip go smoothly. You could download the offline version to help you if you are not fluent in Spanish. Maybe you have learned some words, but then once you touch down in the city, you start to get a little nervous, okay? And so this could be Google Translate. Other tips, if you are leaving the US for the first time, you want to be covered with insurance, travel insurance, the medical insurance. When you buy your flight, sometimes they will have you select the option to buy their insurance. I'm talking about a separate policy plan. I've mentioned Safety Wing insurance. You can use them for pretty much most of the countries, at least 100 countries all around the world. Of course, it includes Mexico. And you want to put in the dates that you are traveling. Some people can put the day before. I would just do it, the morning that you're going to arrive at Cancun airport and the time that you are leaving. That way you are covered in case of an emergency. I recommend Safety Wing. If you look at the link below in the description box, you can get more information on how to set up your Safety Wing policy plan. You do not know what is going to happen while traveling abroad. There are many, many things that could go wrong. Just be covered. Period. The end. This is an old tip for back in the day of letting your banks know. Now the banks, if you just log into your account and put a note, hey, I'm going to be traveling, they see some fraudulent activity, they're going to be able to notify you, alert your bank, just put in the travel note, you're going to be traveling, and I think you'll be good to go. You want to make a copy of your passport. Each traveler is different. I don't move around with my passport on me. I like it to keep it in the room. If I have a hostel locker, I could just put it in there, or if it's in a bag somewhere. Make sure you find a place where you want to keep your passport secure. You can use a hotel safe. I mean, hotels, they do have the keys to the safes, you guys. But whatever makes you comfortable, do that. For me, I don't really walk around with my passport on me. I do try to keep a copy sometimes, though. You can prearrange your transportation. You can do the Suviator, Get Your Guide. They provide pickup transportation, or you can use the audio bus. If you want to use a taxi, that's fine. Last year they were having the Uber taxi wars, where the taxis are the ones that get to pick up the passengers, and they have permission from the government to do that at the airports. I think the Uber, they are still operating, and of course there are the local public buses. You are going to Mexico. The language spoken there is Espanol, Spanish. Okay, so for you to go there, I'm not saying you, just some travelers for the first time, they have this American air about them where they expect the locals, the Mexican people who live there, to be speaking in English back to them. They're like, we're the tourists, we're in your country, we're helping you out. Whoa, 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 that's not the attitude that we want to have, okay? They are not required to speak English. It would be better for you and more beneficial for you to speak the Spanish back. There are some words and phrases. You can use Duolingo, Google Translate, and they really like to see that you are expressing yourself in the language there. Learn how to say hi, hello, good morning, good afternoon, where's the bathroom. They are very helpful and want to make sure that you have a pleasant stay. But the interaction can just go sour if you immediately come off as the U.S. citizen and I'm coming in and I'm standing on business. Like, don't do all that. Like, it's too much. Speak to them in the Spanish, and sometimes they're going to be like, baby, what you're saying, you're not pronouncing it right. And then let them initiate the English. A lot of the locals are going to be speaking English, so especially in Cancun, like the hotel zone, you are going to be fine. Do not worry. They really appreciate the effort of those who study the language and practice some basic phrases. Accommodation, all-inclusive resorts. Cancun has a ton of them. Okay, this is not necessarily budget friendly. However, I am going to mention it. One, and I know y'all probably gonna clown me for this, the only reason I was able to stay there was because Spirit Airlines canceled my flight and they put me in a resort. Yes, they tried to drag me on IG about this a few years back. To this day, I still hear travelers saying, oh yeah, that worked for me too. No, it's not because I'm a travel influencer and they're just like, oh, we're going to give her a resort because of canceled flights. It just depends on the situation. Okay, I was returning from Puerto Morelos. I got to Cancun airport. They were like, your flight's canceled. We tried to notify you. I didn't have my phone on. And we all were just standing around at the airport like, what do we do? What do we do? I'm going to take that resort. Now, the resort name is Crown Paradise Club. It is a budget, all-inclusive resort. It's not just Spirit, you guys. These airlines, they put the travelers, I think this is one of the main resorts where they do that. If there are cancellations, other things that just went wrong with the flight, the airlines will put you here. They will provide transportation for you. I didn't have to pay anything. Yes, Spirit does this. Like, I don't need to keep explaining myself. Last week I talked about the big seat. This week I'm talking about Spirit, how they put me in a resort. I have no complaints against Spirit. The resort, I'm not going to recommend. It is family friendly. There are just budget travelers who want to experience paradise. The grounds are beautiful, you guys. Depending on the sargassum season, you may see or not see the seaweed, beautiful pools. So that was Crown Paradise Club. The first time I went to Mexico or to the Cancun area, I stayed in Puerto Morelos. I had a whole house to myself. Again, thank you, booking.com. But there are hostels all around the Cancun area. And the ones I would recommend would be Mayan Monkey. There is a Nomads Hostel, and then they have the Nomads Party Hostel. Some below $20. One was even, I think the Party Hostel was $10 a night. That is super cheap. And the one that I really want to focus on is Humant Co-Living and Co-Working Space. I was really impressed with this. This one is a little bit further out. It is in Cancun. I stayed there for a few nights and it was a pleasant day. The rooms are clean and I had my own room. You are there with a lot of digital nomads. So the purpose is, peace and quiet. You want to get your work done. Like, that is the goal. They have a washing machine. If you're doing that type of work, I know some people ask me in the DMs about co-working spaces. Humant Co-Living, Co-Working in Cancun, 10 out of 10. I highly recommend them. It's managed very well. They give you recommendations on food. I told them I was vegetarian. He was like, oh yeah, you need to go here to this Indian restaurant. Like, he was on it. It's in a gated area. It's very secure, locked gate. You are able to access the building with the electronic keypad. I've stayed in hostels, a few hostels in Mexico. Punta Sam, that one was Costa Mujeres. That one's kind of like far up north. You're going to try to take the ferry and go to Isla Mujeres. That would work for you as well. But yeah, so Mayan Monkey, Humant Co-Living and Co-Working. And then, of course, if you're doing your all-inclusive resorts, make sure you have transportation to get to these locations. If you're enjoying this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I appreciate y'all so much. Activities. Cancun has a wide variety of things for you guys to do. It is, one of the #1 tourist destinations in the world. Let's talk about some of those activities. Of course, the beaches. You're going to be able to go to different playas all around because you are at the Caribbean coast. If some of you are really adventurous, you can go to the Underwater Museum. Mercado 28, Mercado 28. This is where people go for the souvenirs. You want to get your souvenirs here, not at the airport, not at Hotel Zone. Hotel Zone may have gone down in prices where they are, where we're talking about souvenirs, but souvenirs, Mercado 28 for sure. The locals have even recommended this. Some of them will say you want to go to 23 for the food. There's different mercados around. And then you have the Hotel Zone. If you go all the way to the end of the strip, there is a nice museum for you to check out. It's the Museo Maya. I was able to visit there from the co-working, co-living space that I was in, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was an outdoor space. It's very warm. You know, Mexico is hot. You need to make sure that you have your skincare together. Yes, Black people need to use sunscreen, okay? You want to have an SPF. What's the right number? So you can check out Museo Maya at the end of the strip. I just wrote color boat. Sometimes my notes, I'll be like, what am I talking about? There's this boat where they take you out. It's like a party boat, and you get to do fun activities. They have tequila on board, and definitely a day trip. You are very close to a world wonder, Chichen Itza. If you want to book that with a tour, I recommend Viator, probably even Airbnb experiences, or even where you are staying, just go to the front desk, the concierge. They know it's popular. People want to go there, and you have to visit Chichen Itza. It's one of the world wonders. It can be very hot there, so you probably want to wear a hat. Your tour guide is going to take you around to see the ruins. Do not climb the artifacts, the pyramids. I remember a girl on TikTok went viral last year for climbing it up. Like, I don't know if she was American. She may have been European. I don't recall. But climbing up things just to do it for the gram? First of all, stay with your group. I don't know what entitlement she thought that she was like, oh, I'm going to just climb up here and get my pics. It just is very cringy to me when I see these tourists doing those types of things. A lot of people want to go further down to Tulum. You're going to pass Playa del Carmen. I feel like Playa has the best vegan restaurants. More on that later. So you could go down to Tulum. You could even go further down to the biosphere. And of course, the nightlife and the Hotel Zone. If you're using your Uber, you can also use Didi. Didi is a ride-sharing app that I frequently used when I was living in China. They have this in Mexico as well. If you are not comfortable or unsure about the Uber drivers, I've heard that they can be kind of aggressive. You might want to download Didi. Well, for me, what's worked with the taxi drivers when they're doing too much, if my interaction is fine with them, we're chatting it up, it's cool, I just ask them, hey, can you be my driver for however many days? And I just call you up, message you on the WhatsApp. You already know where I'm staying. You can pick me up, take me where I need to go. That is really a good way for you to get around if you speak the language. And again, a lot of these drivers speak English too. So you can try that option if you are comfortable enough. I recommend you join the groups on Facebook. Cancun has a large amount of expats, people who are living there, and they can, give you more insight on what's going on. Black in Tulum, I highly recommend that Facebook group. They offer a lot of information. It's a really good resource. There are going to be good and bad people in every country. And you're going to learn that the more as we talk about these countries on the channel. Try not to rule out a country based on one negative interaction that you had with a local or experiences you had. You also need to think about yourself and how you are being perceived as well. If you're coming down all blinged out, you got all your designer threads on, you have all of the designer clothes on, you've purchased everything, to show out. I'm not saying not to do that. You guys know for me, like, I keep it casual. Mexico is usually bikini and cover up and then flip flop. I pack very light. And I'm usually non-threatening. Like, nobody is coming up to me like, oh, we're going to rob her. Like, mine would be more of harassment. We will talk about that in another video. You need to give these countries another chance. And this isn't something that I really have had to think about when it comes to Italy. That's why I have paused doing a video on that, because I've had some negative experiences. And I'm just like, do I even want to do it for the channel? But again, it's not about me. It's about giving y'all the scoop so you all can be successful on your trips. Just try to keep that in mind your first time in Mexico. Getting around Mexico is going to be pretty simple. There are taxis and Ubers. With the taxis, you want to agree on the fare. The drivers can be aggressive. Agree on the fare before you get in the car. And like I said, if you are feeling comfortable with them, reach out and say, hey, are you going to be available? I would like for you to be my private driver and take me around back and forth. I did this a lot in Puerto Morelos, in Puerto. I did it in Playa del Carmen and PDC just because it's easier. You have their number on the WhatsApp. Also download WhatsApp. The apps that are going to help you tremendously would be WhatsApp, Google Translate, maybe XC Currency if you want to know the currency exchange. They have local buses. If you are staying in a particular area, I know if you're in Central Tulum, Central Cancun, those buses are very cheap. It's like the equivalent of 50 cents, and they will take you where you need to go. It's cheap travel. Mexico, I would really like to just explore more and maybe just spend a month there. I need to go to Mexico City. They have the best vegan food, one of the best vegan food cities in the world. I think it's the capital. Of course, the capital is going to have the best food. You want to use that Didi ride sharing app. If you don't want to do Uber or have had an aggressive driver, you can, of course, walk. It's bike friendly as well. I see people walking up and down at the hotel zone, and use the local buses. Download offline maps. Okay, that way you have your Google map and you can kind of tell where the driver is going. If he takes you somewhere off site and is trying to extort money from you, whoa. I can't even say call the popo because they might try to do the same thing to you too, especially if you are renting a car. This is common for some travelers where they're renting cars. The police will pull up and say, oh, we have such and such situation going on. You're parked in the wrong way. Give us money. Be very aware of that. For the food options in Cancun, you're going to want to eat local if you can. You can get all of the Mexican treats such as chilaquiles for breakfast. You could get enchiladas, the birria tacos. I have not been able to try the vegetarian versions of those. I would like to sample those. Nopales, that's cactus. They have an abundance of it there, and it's vegetarian. You can try to get the nopales tacos. They have champiñones, which is the mushrooms if you like mushroom flavor. There's tamales, jicama, burritos, of course, the chips and guacamole. I love the way the Mexican chips, it just has a texture and it's just real thick, and able to dip it into the various salsas that they have. It's quite delicious. Make sure that you are understanding how to order so that you can get a veggie plate. You can always go to the US-based restaurants such as IHOP, Chili's, there's Fridays, Hard Rock Cafe. A lot of these can be found in the hotel zone. I even went to Taste of India. It's a really great Indian restaurant in Cancun. You're going to find so many different flavors in addition to Mexican. Me, when I was there, I was up and down the Riviera Maya. I ate a lot in Tulum. I had some vegan tacos there, and it was an actual vegan store. I'll list it here. La Organica has good fruits, juices, teas. It's a very healthy place. I think if you're vegan, vegetarian, you want to go to Playa, go to PDC, and you can get a lot of good eats there. Tulum has a few, but I really think PDC is the best. They even have a vegan resort in Mexico. It's Palmaya, the House of Aya. It is very expensive. I, of course, have not been there. They don't offer day passes or anything like that, but I heard it is an all vegan resort. You can even get vegan rooms, and they are saying that they do offer meat just for those who, have to have the taste of it. So I don't know if they should be calling themselves completely vegan. At some point, I'll need to check it out and give you guys the scoop. The Pink Coconut Cancun has good reviews. Herbivoro. You are going to have a list of places to choose from. I think what you can do is plug in Cancun. You can even do Tulum, Playa del Carmen, Puerto, and look it up on Happy Cow, and then you can see. Of course, on Google, also check too. Just type in vegan restaurants in Mexico. You can even filter it to the restaurants on Instagram, TikTok. They are going to get you in the right direction. At the audio bus station in Cancun, in central Cancun, they always have a food stand outside. I don't know if you're into the street food, and even behind that, if you go across the street, there's a nice little shop that sells vegan items in addition, to the meat tortas that they have. I was able to get one there before I went to my next destination. I'll just tell them what you want and they will make the food right there for you. It doesn't have to be like, a fancy big sit down cafe. The best food that I have experienced in Mexico so far was La Cueva del Chongo, I believe the name of it was, and it was in Playa del Carmen. There I had a stuffed pepper with all of the different sauces, chips, and guacamole. It was an amazing dish. Hats off to the chef. Playa also has a vegan cafe. It was kind of giving me Johnny Rockets vibes. There I ate a vegan hot dog. I had a burger. It was just vegan fast food. And I'm going to drop the pictures of that here. It's hard for me to pinpoint just one location because I've done it all over. At the Audio bus station, when you get to the city center, you can exchange your money there. Here they have the currency shop. There's also a luggage storage. If you want to just tour around, a lot of people, they just put their bags down, buy their bus ticket. They may have 1 hour, 2 hour before it departs to Tulum or whatnot. Go to Mercado 28, get some bites to eat, shopping, peruse, whatever, make it back, and then board the bus. There's a Subway there. The Subway ingredients are so fresh, you guys. I love seeing the bright red tomatoes with no chemicals or pesticides on them. And you can just go across the street and get the tortas too. It's really whatever you have a taste for. Cancun is a great choice for your first international destination. If you have any questions, I know on TikTok people were asking me about green card holders, the visas. I know most of my audience is living in the US. In the comments, if you want me to make more videos about entry requirements, let me know and I'm going to do my best. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you watching all of these videos and I'm going to see you next week.